So with this chapter of Boku no Hero Academia, we have the worst father of 2015. Like, there's no way that this father Todoroki is going to be, you know, not the worst of 2015. Like, he straight up is going to get the #1 title. Because the overall reason why he had a son was just to beat All Might. Like, let me try to quote what he said. Like, I had that boy to be able to beat you as a hero, become the #1 hero, to beat you, All Might. That's the sole reason I made that boy. He didn't even call his son. He said boy, and he didn't even call him by his own name. So, very fucked up. Like, that father, wow. I mean, I knew there was going to be some form of issues between Todoroki and his father. I knew there was going to be. It's very obvious, the way he didn't want to use his fire side. But with this chapter, we get a full grasp on what type of father he is. And now that I know, yeah, now I understand why he doesn't want to use his fire. And we also get some backstory to Todoroki. We find out why he has this scar on his side of his face. And I'm quite shocked to find out what really caused the scar on his face. So, let's be real here before I actually reveal what it is. If you have yet to read the chapter, most likely majority of you should have read the chapter before you listen to this review. Majority of us probably thought it was, you know, his father put that mark on his face, probably burnt his face. I mean, majority of us probably thought that's what happened to Todoroki. We thought he had that scar on his face because of his father. Come to find out with this chapter, his mother dumped boiling water on his fucking face. Like, whoa, the backstory, like, I did not expect that type of backstory for Todoroki. Like, oh man, like, the potential Todoroki has as a character right now to progress and develop, it has a lot of potential. His character definitely has a lot of potential. Here's the way I see the progression of Boku no Hero from this chapter standpoint. Bakugo, Izuku, Todoroki, they're rivals. They're the three main characters, I guess you could say, of this story. You know, not counting All Might. These three are the main central characters, or the main characters that are going to drive the story in different directions, because we have it to where Bakugo, he's kind of similar to a villain, but I mean, he's kind of chilled down, and just the way he acts recently, I love his new development. And you have Todoroki, where he has this very dark backstory. Like, I mean, he doesn't have the worst backstory I've ever seen when it came to anime or manga, but he definitely has a pretty tragic backstory. I mean, the way he dived into it, I'm willing to bet that there's a lot more information that we do not know of when it comes to Todoroki's past, because he left out quite a few details, I'm willing to bet. But the thing was, okay, the way I see it, we're going to have these three characters probably going to be the main sole focus of Boku no Hero. You're going to have it to where these three characters are going to be rivaling each other to be the #1 hero. Because let's look at this. The goal of all three of these characters that's been set up, Izuku wants to be the #1 hero, or the best hero of all time, like All Might. You have Bakugo wants to be the #1 hero. And now you have Todoroki that wants to be the #1 hero and outbest his father and crush his father's dreams and hopes, pretty much. And never use his power to achieve that goal. So, you have it to where these three characters are wanting to become the #1 hero. And so that makes all three of them rivals. They're all rivals. They have the same goal, each with their own slightly different personality, which I like quite a bit, because we got a little bit of different personality for each individual character, and it allows us different perspectives of how these characters might journey to reach their end-game goal. And so, I can't wait. I can't wait to see what direction these characters are going to take with the goal they're setting out to do, because we're going to get to see three different perspectives of these characters that are trying to take their path to become the #1 hero. Like, I mean, I'm willing to bet out of these three characters, Todoroki, Izuku, and Bakugo, one of these characters are going to go evil, or rogue, a villain. Something is going to happen. I'm placing my money down right now. It's very, very obvious, because we have three rivals. Three. So I'm assuming that one of them are going to go evil sometime in the story. I'm willing to place my cards. At first I was going to place on Bakugo, but finding out this backstory to Todoroki, it makes me assume he might go evil. Let me explain. I want to dive into a little bit of details in Furycraft of why I think he might go evil. So, Todoroki doesn't like using his power. He doesn't want to use his fire side because he wants to resist his father's side. He doesn't even want to help his father out. He doesn't want to make his father happy. He just doesn't give a shit because his father doesn't care about him at all, and didn't even care about his mother, as we can see. Like, his sole purpose with him being born was just to be a powerful quirk user to beat All Might and become #1 hero. Like, he wasn't even born to be, you know, son to his father or son to his mother. Like, he wasn't born as an average child. He was born into a position of, you have all these expectations, you have to achieve this goal, you have to do this goal, and I don't care if you're my son, you better achieve this goal or you're dirt to me. That's pretty much how Todoroki's father is. And to see this, you can understand the position that Todoroki is in, and what would be the best way to give his father the middle finger? Let's be real here. What's the best way to give his father the middle finger if he somehow decided to just stray away from becoming the #1 hero? The #1 villain. Because, I mean, I'm willing to bet it, there's probably a villain out there in the series that's probably the #1 villain. I mean, if there's a #1 hero, there has to be a #1 villain. There has to be. There always is. And so, what if, you know, Todoroki eventually down the line of his journey of his progression wanting to become a hero, he becomes a villain and wants to become like the #1 villain or strongest villain or whatever, and he does the exact opposite of what his father wants to do. It really suits his character so far from what we have seen, especially with the dialogue of this chapter. So that's my theory. I'm saying it right now. I'm placing my bets on that, so we'll have to see how that goes in maybe 30, 50 chapters from now. I will make sure to say I called it if it does happen though. So, moving past that point, Bakugo was listening in on this conversation. And so he knows about Todoroki's past now, and he knows that there's some form of connection between All Might and Izuku. So, yeah, Bakugo eventually is going to find out the real secret, so I can't wait to see exactly what's going to happen there. If I had to place my cards on it too, I'm willing to bet that Bakugo is going to become, like, the student of the top 3 hero, like, you know, #3 of the best heroes. I'm willing to bet Bakugo is going to do that to, you know, become the top hero. Like, I mean, we have the #2 hero is the father of Todoroki. And then we have the #1 hero is, you know, the mentor teacher to Izuku, All Might. And we have it toward Bakugo, he doesn't really have a teacher or a sensei at the moment, so I'm going to assume that his mentor and teacher in the future is going to be the, you know, #3 out of all, you know, the top 5 heroes and stuff. I'm assuming that's what's going to happen. Now, one thing I do want to point out, though, with this chapter, it pretty much just sets up a lot of things. Like, it sets up for this rivalry between the characters, and that's what this chapter was. Like, it's setting up the future, like, way hundreds of chapters down the road. Like, I mean, if this series lasts, like, 300 to 400 chapters, yeah, this chapter just set up a crucial point in the series that's going to probably be carrying weight maybe 150 to 200 chapters down the road. And so, yeah, this is a very, 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 very important chapter. Like, this is by far one of the most important chapters of the series because it sets up the characters, like the major key players of the series. And also, I don't know if I'm the only one that got these type of vibes, but at the end of this chapter, when we see the tournament pop up, like you see the tournament board and all that, you know, we see how each hero is going to have a 1v1 fight. It made me instantly think of the tuning exams. Anyone else think of Naruto? Like, when you saw that at the end of this chapter, I'm like, yo, this is just straight up, like, Naruto vibes. Like, we're getting into, you know, this battle of 1v1. Are we going to get to see some dark shit like what Gaara did to Rock Lee? I mean, are we going to get to see stuff like that? Because if that happens, yo, I'm looking forward to that. So that's pretty much it when it came to this chapter of Boku no Hero Academia. Oh yes, one thing I do want to quickly say before I end this review of Boku no Hero, if you have yet to hear the news, Boku no Hero Volume 1 is coming to United States this summer. Like, I saw a news article on Anime News Network supposedly saying that we are going to get the volumes coming in the summer. So I cannot wait to pick up this series. I'm definitely going to just go out of my way and support this series because it's an absolute blast to sit back and read each week. And so I'm glad it's actually getting, you know, translated and it's going to have a volume release very, very soon. So yeah, tell me your thoughts. You all have a wonderful day or not wherever you live. Please be safe. Chibi out.